Hello, I want to do some practice with creating variables and doing some assignments, and we will see what kind of different types we can use and what are the differences. Like the basic difference will be the scopes, we will see. And I have a reference note that I had taken before, so I will use this table as a reference. So I have an empty test here with Playwright, and I will use TypeScript to implement my test case. So let's get started. So what we can use is normally in ES MKScript version 5, we were able to use only var kind of variables, but starting from MKScript version 6, which was published in 2015, now we are able to use var or let or const type of variables. So what are the differences? Let's see by creating a function, because the scope of them will be limited to the functions or the blocks. So first of all, let me create a function. It will be an array type of function. This will be my function. All right, let's create an array function here. Cool. And inside, let's create some variables. Firstly, let's create a var type. Let's assign to just a number, and let type. And the last is the const type. Cool. We have already three different types of variables, and let's try to just do something with these variables. Of course, within the function, we can use it. So let's just try to print them. A, B, and C. So we can try to use them within the function and outside the function as well. But even inside the function, we can have some blocks, right? For example, for loops or if condition blocks. So let's create one just to be very simple. Just put a true statement here. Okay, so this is already the usage of these variables inside the if block, and outside the block I have my function, and this function is inside my test. So inside my test, let's just call the function, and what we can do here is let's try to use them outside the block as well, which means still inside the function but outside the if block. So we can already see that B and C cannot be used outside the block. Only A, which was a var type, can be used outside the block within the function. What I can already verify from this table is the let and const type variables are the block scope, so I cannot refer to them outside the block, but the A in my function, A variable, which was a var type variable, can be still used outside the block, so it is not block scope. And let's try to use them even outside the function as well. So let's copy these and try to use them. So outside the function, I cannot use any of those variables, because for that purpose, I have to define some global variables, right? So for this, what we can see in this usage is like var type variables can be used outside the block within the function, but let and const cannot be used outside the block. So they are the block scoped variables. And what else we can see? Like let's try if we can do a reassignment. So let's try to reassign the A. Normally it was assigned to a value of 1. Let's try to assign to 4. And let's try to assign B to now this time 5. And let's try to assign C to 6. So what happened now? A is successfully reassigned, B as well. But here I have an error for C, right? Because C, which was a constant. This is why I used const type to create my variable. I cannot reassign. I cannot do the reassignment for the const. So whenever I will have some fixed variables, I will not dynamically assign anymore. Then I can use this const type. So from the table, I can see reassignment cannot be done for the const variables. For the other two, I can do the reassignment. So so this as well. And let's try to redeclare. So let's just copy these lines with maybe just some different values, right? So let's continue from 5, 6, 7, 8. So this time I could not do the redeclaration for B and C, which means let and const, but I could do the redeclaration for variable A, right? So, and without redeclaring, I can just do the reassignment. So why am I like? What is the need for doing the redeclaration? Because maybe I can even change the type. As we already discussed in some other videos, TypeScript is a strictly typed language. So if I want to reassign to another type, like from number to string, then I would have some issues. But if I do the redeclaration like this, then I would not have any issues. And I already did some reassignment for some of them. I did even redeclaration for the var type, and I used inside the block and within the function as well. So as of now, everything looks straightforward and seems like there is no issues. Let's just execute my test and see if there is any problem. Playwright test and my test. Okay. Yes, the test passed. So the values that I see on the console is 7, 5, 3, and 7. What am I doing in the test? This is my function, so I'm just calling the function, and there's the if condition here. So the first console is A, which was 7, and then B and C, they have the 5 and 3, right? Yes. And eventually I print A one more time, which was lastly set to value 7.